Hey Addicts, welcome back to another Danmachi discussion. And there's Michael in the red
We're
hood.
here because you wanted it.
They did want it, even though we probably, I don't know when the other video uploaded. In our time, it's completely different than on your realm of time. Anyway, today we are answering the age-old question that I cannot believe we haven't answered before. And it's probably one that you guys are going to be like, why didn't I think of that? And exactly my question. Why didn't you think of that and comment that? But anyway, we're talking about, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Yes, that's actually what we're going to do. I know that's shallow of me. Michael, what is your answer?
So are we using our characters from the skill? You know, we had a like a pick a skill, pick a magic.
Yeah. I think to make this interesting, hopefully not too long, we'll answer both in Bill's case and our own case. Let's start with our own case. That way people get our opinions out.
Okay, so in the own case, so we've seen throughout the books and the show that adventurers are pretty mean people. Like, for example, in the sideshow, we have one lady who led to the death of a level 4 adventurer just because he wasn't paying, close attention to who she was. Rest in peace, unnamed man.
They kick down prom.
Adventurers are mostly evil, I would say. Like, some are neutral.
Yeah.
A majority are bad.
There is as varied as the gods in the world.
Yeah, and there's like there's like a couple good adventurers. So with my strat, if I remember correctly, it's more single base because I'm doing level up and some other magic that I totally remember. But with that strategy, I think it would be more advantageous for me to not pick up friends in the dungeon, and then for picking up girls in the dungeon, you got some crazy girls. I mean, who's gonna be in the dungeon?
Sure.
Aisha?
I don't know.
Eyes?
I don't think you're picking her up. She's picking you up.
Exactly. I don't like that. Eyes. Who else is it?
You just
Lulu, she's a murderer. She kills everyone. Who else is in the dungeon? I mean, Ween. That's helpful. She's cool, but you're gonna have to sacrifice everything important to your life to save her. And
be branded as a monster fetish guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a good scenario. And then you have, a couple other high level. You have like Ophelia, which that doesn't work out for multiple reasons. Then you have
it's not into you.
And then you have everyone in the Loki familia that are women, and they're kind of crazy too. The Amazons are just crazy in this universe in general.
What's the really slim chance that there's just some civilian in there?
True. I mean, technically, Hiroheim was in there once or twice. So
yeah. Plus, you might, I don't know, because like the monsters sometimes might take prisoners, maybe.
It's just, I don't know. I just think it's high risk, low reward. If you want to date anyone in this universe, you go to that one bar and you.
Oh yeah,
one of those.
Date a Freya spy that's gonna wreck me in 3 arcs.
Look, it's fine. Okay.
Okay. So your answer is
most likely
stay
not.
Away.
At least until I'm strong enough to defend myself.
Interesting. Well, I think that's pretty common sense for the most part. I think for my own, there are some pluses, obviously. Because I would imagine 9 times out of 10. You find a girl in a dungeon, she probably can take care of herself. Another downside, though, to that is, they're in the dungeon, so you don't know what they have.
They may die at any time.
Yeah, we don't know what kind of diseases they're exposed to. The other thing is like, like he said, friend or foe, you don't know. You could be opening yourself up for an attack, because there are adventurers that do that. Or the slim chance, you could find somebody that's like, oh, please save me.
Insane?
Yeah, not insane. But, I think you have to read the situation. I think it might depend, because there are, if you think about it, our ratio of seeing girls in dungeons that pop up there, like, probably 80% of them have been good or nice and worked out in the long run. So I would say, out of what we know, the rate is pretty good. It's pretty in our favor, positive-wise. So, and especially with my build being a master of disguise and mischievous in every way, I would say I'm able to basically test the waters in the best way, because I'll be able to put on a different face and then see if I'm like trustworthy of them or anything. And then if they pull anything, then I'll just be like, oh, I can run away or I can kill them or whatever, and then they won't know who I was. So that's kind of like my strat. So I think for me, it's pretty safe. I think now if we're asking morally, is that right or wrong? It's probably wrong because you're
exploiting the situation.
Yeah, you're exploiting them. Exactly. You're changing their aspect. You're manipulating them apparently because it's like you're forcing them to look at you as an idol because you saved their life. So in a way, it's really screwed up.
You just let them die.
Yeah, in a way, it's better just to do that. Don't sacrifice your moral code, people. Leave the people to die. That's the message I want to get across.
Yeah, no, I think your build is way better for picking up girls and dungeons.
So I would say it's probably not right, but I would do it anyway. On occasion.
Yeah, I mean...
If I'm lonely a couple weekends.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I might risk it. I don't know.
Just not in a town.
Yeah, not
in the town, in the dungeon.
Yeah. Now, I will say, though,
risky.
dungeon, way cleaner than the pleasure quarters. 100%.
That's true.
So, I think we're doing pretty good on time. Now the question, we're going to reverberate this since we already... I don't know if I were use that word right. Probably not. But since you know our opinions...
I think is what you're looking for.
That's probably what I'm looking for. Anyway, since you know our opinions now on the situation, we're going to focus on Bell and his situation. Because he's picked up a lot of girls in a dungeon.
Some not in dungeons, though.
Some not in dungeons. Although they look like they may have came from a dungeon.
I mean, Ina's never been in a dungeon.
No, she has.
I mean, she has been in a dungeon.
See? Ha ha ha.
But she wasn't picked up in
I'll be
the
one of those
dungeon.
guys that's going to analyze everything and say, correction. So, yeah. Do you think he has been right in his circumstances?
I mean, he was saved by a girl in the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we all hate her, but... She did save him, even though it was their fault that he was even put in that situation.
Can you even classify that as picking up? Because he didn't drop any lines. He said, and then rolled away.
He did that for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, it's like 3 months, but
yeah.
it might as well be 3 years for Belle. I don't know. I mean, like, Hestia was in a dungeon before. She went in the dungeon.
Yeah.
But she wasn't picked up in the dungeon, though.
True.
As far as the main crew, I mean, Hiroheim wasn't in a dungeon, although she did go to the dungeon.
Mm-hmm. I would say, he didn't technically... Well, I was going to say about Lily, like, he didn't technically meet her there, but I think that's where he picked her up, though, if you get what I'm saying. Like, that's where she, like, fell in love with him though. Is like,
yeah,
he did
I think that's, like, the core, like, why he should do it is definitely her case.
Yeah.
It's really just hard.
It's all okay if Lily gets it, yeah.
Yeah. Final girl. Best girl. Maybe. That's close.
Yeah.
But,
what about in a monster's case, like Ween?
With the Xenos, I think Bell probably made the right decision there. He did pick up a monster in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Monster girl.
He made a stupid call, but it's probably like the right moral choice. Like, honestly, like, it's like one of those sayings where it's like, you really couldn't call yourself a hero if you said no.
If you said no, so.
But then again, everybody in the world already does, so you're not really going against the mainstream.
True. Are you special? Yeah. So Bell's kind of in a weird scenario, especially because
he's a white rabbit.
He's a white rabbit. He's a young white rabbit.
It's true. Every god wants to pick him from the candy store.
Exactly. I don't know. Is it going to help him in the long run having all these women to support him? I mean, some of them, yeah.
Dude.
Some of them, no, though. I think if he never would have met Eyes...
A fiery laugh, like, oh, fuck.
Okay, we'll not get into that, because people who want to talk about canon might get a little bit mad, but I think if he never met Eyes, he would still eventually get his power some other way, and he'd have a lot less problems.
Yeah, because he just has to have some devotion. Yeah. It doesn't have to be her. As we can see in the light novel right now, I'm going to go there, by the way, just right now, off tangent, because we still know that he has his abilities, even though he's changed his main goal to be not Eyes. Because it's literally the last thing he mentions in Volume 12. Okay, sorry. A little rant. Avoided. Yeah.
What about you? What's your perspective on this?
I think for Bell, because, I mean, that was, like, his whole purpose was, like we were talking about, manipulate people, in a sense, because it's what he told his grandpa. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go there to pick up women, not to get stronger. That was kind of something that changed in him while he was there. So I would say probably starting out, yeah, he's probably a bit of a womanizer for thinking that, but I think, he's, at the end of the day, he's a really pure guy. And, I don't even think if he got into that situation, he'd even be able to go through it just because of how nice of a guy he is. That's not the question you want me to answer.
No, should he continue?
I think
Like, if he could start again, would he do it again? Would he make the same decisions?
If it's right, I mean, you're getting into that whole thing of like, oh, he's already got one woman. Is it okay to go after another one? He's not really going after anybody, but you know what I'm saying. I think for what he's wanting to be a hero. He's not wanting to be like anybody's waifu, all right? So he's wanting to be a hero to these people. So I would say, no, it's not wrong. Because he's wanting to be the hero.
It's a double negative. What do you mean? Is it wrong? Yes or no?
It's not wrong.
It's not wrong. Okay.
There you go.
I got you.
There's clarification here.
You need a comma there.
Yeah, okay.
No, it's not. Okay, it's not wrong to pick up girls in the
Yeah, I would say overall, yeah. Now, if you were... I think it depends, like,
it's definitely
because of his motive.
on Belle.
Yeah, if you were going out there, just be like, yeah, I want to pick up this chick for selfish reasons. Yeah. Then I'd be like, yeah, after you got one... You shouldn't be going back down there. It's like Las Vegas, you know.
This is a weird.
This is a weird video. Yeah, but that would be my answer. I don't think.
Yeah,
it's wrong.
I don't.
But it can be depending on your circumstances.
For Belle, I think for Belle, he's got a pure heart, man. He's the bro of the nation, man. He's a hero, and he's saved a lot of women that he's picked up in the dungeon. I mean, if you look at Lily, he saved her many a times.
Yeah.
Just by picking her up.
Which has led to her being undeniably have devotion towards him. No matter
Rest in peace if that never happens.
Oh, gosh. I feel so bad for Lily.
She's just such a champ. At least she gets to be the commander now of like their whole family.
It's not good enough. She deserves better. No. Yeah,
she kind of does deserve better, but...
Yeah, she really does. But yeah, I would say...
So should he continue to pick up girls in a dungeon, though? Or is more girls in the dungeon?
Like I said, since he's wanting to be the hero, I think he kind of has to be. Like, if he doesn't, then that would be like a detriment to his character, because he's not wanting to do it, to get. He's not doing it to get girls. He's doing it for like the right person's. Like, oh, they're in trouble. I need to save them. Where it's like if you and me were in there, it'd probably be like
our characters.
Yeah, like if our characters were there, it's like saving the world's not priority number one.
I gotta level up,
Yeah, I gotta level up, Save this girl, get the stones. I'm gonna get the stones.
It's like what is it, like the CSI? Oh, the CSI video game when they're like, we're leveled up.
Yeah. Or I thought you were gonna do the CSI where it's like, gotta take a stab at it.
No, I think that's a pretty fair thing. I think Belle, he has evolved in Volume 12 to be more of a man, a fighter. But I think he's still going to be saving people.
Yeah, like that's one thing I do like about him, because he's definitely growing into that more ruggedness, to where you can kind of see him slip in on some things. You're like, man, wow, I didn't know how much I've changed. All right, let's get back to my goal. So, but yeah,
must be nice to be a 15-year-old rugged man. Am I right, Japan?
And grew up fast.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. We talked about our characters. We talked about Belle. The answer is it wrong? Well, it depends on your circumstances.
Yeah.
For Belle, he's saving people. It's right. Continue to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you'll be okay.
Everything will be all
your
right.
Your familia will be stronger, and you'll be leveling up.
It's very true. You better hope you're in a familia, though.
Yeah.
I guess you could... That's actually maybe a decent strat. You save people just to build a familia. Could work.
I'll add it to the strategy. But anyway, guys. Maybe next video.
How to build your familia 101. It's coming.
It's coming. See you next week.
All right.
But yeah, that'll be at Addicts for this episode and this discussion. We'll be doing more discussions on the channel. We may get an Arthread discussion here in the next year and a half. And some other discussions, and we have some actually opening videos coming up. I don't know if they'll be up by the time this comes up, probably, but we'll have more anime opening, kind of rankings and talking
probably
about
more anime stuff in general. We got a lot of stuff character-wise and different show stuff.
And check out our new series, Classic Addictions. We'll have probably 1 or 2 episodes up, or will be up soon in the future.
Very true.
Well, anyway, Addicts, that's it, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace, guys. Peace.